Hello and welcome to the Tyler H channel. Before I get started, I want to mention that the tip about starting with the default Cessna and shutting it down so that the Tu-134 is cold and dark, by doing this it will cause a glitch in the electrical system, so I advise you not to. This is a tutorial on starting up the Tu-134 by SCS on Flight Simulator 2004. It should be almost identical to FSX, so don't worry. The first thing we're going to want to do is set the parking brake. Alright, after the parking brake is set, the first thing you're going to want to do is turn on the batteries. And then we are going to switch the power selection to auxiliary 1. And now we want the left fuel pumps for the APU. Now when starting up the APU, you want these two far left switches. And when the green light and the orange light light up, you will be pushing the black button that is directly next to the green light. And once you push that button, literally immediately, the RPM should start climbing, as you can see. Now once the APU is running, we will switch the selection switch to BCY, which is APU. We will turn on the BCY generator, and now we will turn on the auxiliary switch. After that, we are going to select the bleed air to be open. Now we are going to turn on the right fuel pumps and the engine fuel cutoff. After that, you will see the engine cutoff switches. You want them forward. And here we have the startup panel. I select the left engine and I push the far left black button to initiate startup. The two bottom black buttons are emergency stops.
Стартер работает, идет запуск, обороты растут, топливо, масло, давление в норме, температура газов растет. Генератор лево включены. Параметры в норме.
Now move the selection switch to the right and do the same thing. You push the far right black button.
В норме. Температура газов растет. Генераторы справа включены. Параметры в норме.
And now we can go ahead and close the startup panel. Now move the selection switch to Gen 1, 2, 3, or 4 and turn off the APU Gen and the external power switch. Now go ahead and turn on the 4500 watt inverters and select 1-3, and then we are going to turn on our avionics down below. After this is done, we can go ahead and cut the APU. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is shut off the bleed air. And right next to the APU start button, the one below it, you push that button and it'll shut off the APU. Just wait for the RPM to drop before you shut off the APU master and the intake doors. And after that, we can select the panel light. Now go ahead and turn on the engine vibration detection. And we are also going to turn on these two breakers. Now we're going to energize the hydraulics. To do this, we're going to select the switch and hold it. And in the bottom right corner, you will see a needle climb. Once that is full, we are going to go ahead and push the black button directly next to it. And that'll transfer the hydraulics over. Now we're going to select the switch right beside that to set it on auto. Now these switches are mainly navigation switches. And the next switches we turn on are the artificial horizons. And here's the extinguisher system and the anti-ice system. And that is the hydraulics. When you use the nose wheel, the left one will drop, and if it gets to a certain point, you will hear the hydraulics kick on to balance the pressure. And this switch that is guarded, you will turn on in order to engage the hydraulics to the nose gear to turn at 55 degrees. When you are center on the runway, you're going to turn that off. Now most of the switches are pretty self-explanatory, but if you want to know exactly the switches and their purpose, I would recommend getting the manuals, which are pretty hard to find, but I will set links in the description if need be. Do know that they will be in Russian because the English manuals are pretty much inexistent. That pretty much sums up this startup tutorial. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. The next part of this video is a takeoff. The scenery I used is Domodedovo for FS2004, and the link will be posted in the description as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Have a nice day.
Скорость растет.
150, 170, 190, 210,
Рубеж. Продолжаем вслед.
230, 250.
Подъем. Безопасно.
You're up, please. 100 meters.